Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. And it's called, take that easiness with a grain of salt, because it's considered easy by the people on the Logic Masters Germany forum, and there's a lot of really smart people there. Today's puzzle is called Equality Cages 136, Equally Different by Goobler, and here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 9 in each empty cell. Digits must not repeat within the same row, column, or box. That's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, place the digits 1 through 9 in each empty cell, and digits must not repeat within the same row, column, or box. Yeah, I don't know. That's a different way of putting things, but it's basically the same rule set. Equality cages. Cages must have an equal number of low 1, 2, 3, 4 and high 6, 7, 8, 9 digits, and an equal number of even 2, 4, 6, 8 and odd 1, 3, 7, 9 digits. Equality cages can never contain a 5, and digits may not repeat in a cage. Okay, so these are not killer cages. So these are equality cages specifically. And they have to have equal number of low digits and high digits, and even digits and odd digits. And you cannot have repeats, and you can't have a 5 in equality cages. Same difference lines. Each pair of adjacent digits on one of the lines has the same difference. All lines must have unique difference values, which means each line has... okay. First of all, each pair of adjacent digits on one line has the same difference. So we know that the difference between these two cells must be the same as the difference between these two cells, which must be the same as the difference of these two cells. So as an example, this could be something like 6, 3, 6, and 9, right? Because the difference between these cells are 3, the difference between these cells are 3, and the difference between these cells are 3. But all lines must have a unique difference value. So therefore, since this difference value is 3, none of the other difference lines can have a difference value of 3. So that makes for some very interesting, very interesting restrictions on these cells. Anyways, that's how difference lines works. Crop key dots. A black dot between cells indicates cells values with a 1-to ratio, or 2-to-1 ratio. A white dot between cells indicates cells with consecutive values. Not all dots are shown. So therefore, if this were a 2, this would have to be a 1 or 4 to maintain the 1-to-2 ratio. And if this were a 4, this would have to be 3 or 5 to be consecutive with the 4. And that's how crop key dots work. Remember, black dots are in a 1-to-2 ratio. White dots must be consecutive. V. Adjacent cells connected with a V must sum to 5. Not all V's are shown. So, for example, if this were a 2, this would have to be a 3 to add up to 5. And not all V's are shown. So therefore, there could be multiple cells adding up to 5 throughout the puzzle. We just know specific information about these two cells. And those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, so I think the best place to start would be this V. If this were a 1, this could be then 2. This would have to be a 2. And this would then be 3 or 4, but this would have to be 4. But the problem is we're in an equality cage, and we have to have an equal number of highs and lows, and these are all lows. So this cannot work. what if this were 2? If this were 2, this would have to be 3. This would have to be 1 or 4, but 1 cannot be consecutive with another digit except for 2. So 1 is out. And if this were 4, this would have to be 5, but then we would have... yeah, actually, probably, but it's not... The simple way of explaining this would be these two digits have to be a low digit, right? Because they have to be either 1 and 4 or 2 and 3. Because there's 2 low digits in this equality cages, we must have 2 high digits in this equality cage. The only digit that can be next to a high digit in an equality cage, that would be next to a black crop key dot, is 6 or 8. So this specifically has to be 6 or 8, which means this is 3 or 4. Now 6 or 8 can be next to 7 or 9. It cannot have a 5 in the equality cage. Therefore, this is now 1 or 2. So if this were 2, if this were 2, 4, and, well, it can't be 2 and 4. So this is either has a difference of 3 or a difference of 4. If this were a difference of 4, this would be 4 and this would be 8, but then this would have to be a difference of 4 from 8, which would make that a 4, but then you'd have a difference of 4 from this, and therefore this would be 8, but then what would this be, right? It couldn't be any digit, because 4 is already taken in that box, and 12 is not a digit. So this can never be 4. This has to be 3 then, and 6, which means this is consecutive with 6, and you can't have a 5, so this must be a 7. This has to add up to 5, therefore this is 2. So this is 3 and 6, which means this has to be 3 or 9, because it has to be 3 away from 6, and therefore this has to be 6, which makes this 3 or 9. But we're not sure which one, right? Because if this is 3, this would be 6, and then that would be 9. If this is 9, this would have to be 6, which would force that to be 3. So we have a difference line of 3 already. We have a difference line of 5. This is 5 away from 7, so it must be 2. And this must be 5 away from 2, so that our 4 must be 7. Now this has to be a high digit, because we know 2 is a low digit. Oh, this can't be 9, because these would both be high the digits then. So therefore this is a 3, and this has to be 9. This is a low digit, which forces this to be a high digit. So it's 6, 7, 8, or 9. And since this is even, this must be odd, which means it can only be 7 or 9, but we already have a 7 here, so this must be a 9. Okay, what are the rest of these cells? The remaining cells here, well, let's look at this. What is this 1 to 2 ratio, right? This has to be either, it cannot be 1, 2, cannot be 2, 4. It could be 4 and 8, or it could be 3 and 6. Anytime you have a difference here, you will have another difference here. So this is a difference of at least 1, which would mean this is a difference of at least 2, or it could be 4 or 6 or 8. Well, it can't be 8. But whatever the difference is between these two, that same difference has to be here, right? And it cannot be 0, because then these two digits would be the same, which would break Sudoku rules. So therefore, this has to be 2 times some other digit, right? So therefore, these are the same polarity. We're not sure which one those are. And therefore, these must be the same polarity. Interesting. What else can we figure out? Where is 9? 9 has to be one of these 3 cells. Okay, so we have the difference of 3 here. We have a difference of 5 here. We need a difference of 8 somewhere, and we need a difference of 7 somewhere. I guess this cannot be a difference of 7. Okay, what can this be a difference of? It can't be 3, obviously. It can't be 5. Can it be 4? If this was 8, this would be 4, and that would be 0. So it cannot be 4, right? If it's 3, that would be 7, and that would be 11. So that's not possible. So this can't be a difference of 4. It's a difference of, it can't be a difference of 3. It can't be a difference of 4 and higher. So it could be a difference of 2 or a difference of 1. So if it's a difference of 2, this would have to be 3, 5, and 7, which is not allowed. Oh, there's also no 5 allowed in any of these. So if this were 3, and we had a difference of 2, this would be 5 and 7. If it's 3, it could be a difference of 2 and 1. That's possible. That's a lot of possibilities. This cannot be 4 and 8 then. We know these are the same parity. So therefore, if this is 4 and 8, these 3 would be the same parity, which is not allowed in an equality cage. Therefore, this cannot be 4 and 8. It has to specifically be 3 and 6. So none of these can be 3 or 6. Well, that's not helpful. We do know, so these 2 are 3 and 6, which eliminates 3 and 6 from that column. These are 3 and 6, so therefore none of these can be 3 or 6. Where are the 3 and 6 in box 2? They can only be here. And therefore these both form a 3 and a 6 here. So either it cannot be a difference of 2, right? If it's a difference of 2 for the 3, this would be 3, 5, and that would be 7. It cannot be 3, 1, because then that would be negative 1, or 3, which is not allowed. So this has to be then 3, 2, or 1. It cannot be 3, 4, 5, because there's no 5 allowed in equality cages. So this is 2 or 1 if this is 3. If this is 6, so if this is 3, 2, and 1, this has to be 6 and another even digit, which is high, because 1 and 3 are both low. Therefore, that would be 8. If this is 6, it cannot be 4 and 2, or 8 and 10, or 8 and 6, or 4 and 6, because obviously that would be breaking Sudoku rules. Therefore, it cannot be 2 either here. So this has to have a difference of 1. So it could be 6, 5, and 4. But then this would be 3, and we would have 2 even, so we would need to have 2 odds, and the last odd would have to be high since we have 6, 5, and 4. Therefore, this would have to be a high odd digit, but 7 and 9 are already in the column, so therefore this cannot be 7 or 9, and therefore this would break equality cage rules. So this cannot be 5 and 4. If we try to go up, this could be 6, 7, and 8, which is actually possible. So if this is 6, 7, 8, both 6 and 8 are high, therefore we need a low odd digit, which means this has to be 1 then. So either way, if this is 3, 2, 1, this becomes 6 and 8. If this is 6, 7, 8, this would have to be 3 and 1. So either way, these 1 and 8s have to be different. and they both see this cell. And we also have a 3, so therefore 1 and 8 cannot be here. We also know it cannot be 2, 3, 6, or 7 because of the 3, 6 pair here. So this cannot be 1 or 8, 2, 3, 6, 7, so it has to be 4, 5, or 9. And this is our 1 difference line. We now have 1, 3, and 5 already. This has to be 3 or 6. This has to be 1, 4, 5, or 8. And these are also 1, 4, 5, or 8. If we have, you could have, okay, if you had a 1 here, it would have to be with 3 or 6, right? The difference then would be 2. I guess 2 is possible. Or 5, which is not possible, because we have a 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, which is a 5 difference line. What about 4? The 4 would also have to be with 6. So if this were 6 and 1, then this would be 6 and 1 again, right? Because the only digit that's 5 away from 1 would be 6. And therefore you would have to have a 6 there, which would force this to be 1, because the only digit 5 away from 6 is 1. So if this is 3, if you had 6, 1, if you had a 1 here, actually it could be 3, 1. Okay, wait, cannot be. It would be 3 and 1, my apologies. So then this would be 3, and this would be 5, which is not allowed, because 5 can never be in an equality cage. Therefore, this cannot be 3 and 5, so this can't be 1. So this 1 is not allowed here. If this were 4, you cannot have a 3 with it, because we already have our 1 difference line. So therefore, this has to be 2, then. This would be 6 and 4. Which would make this 2 or 6. And this would be 4 or 8. So that's possible, right? Because the difference of 2 between 4 would be 2 and 6. And the difference between of 2 next to 2 would be 4. Or for 6, there would be 4 and 8. So that would work also. If this is a 5, obviously this has to have a difference of 2 with 3, because it cannot have a difference of 1, because we already have the 1 difference line again. So then this would be 3, 5. It could not be 7 here, but it could be 3. And then this would be 1 or 5 here, because 2 away from 3 is specifically 1 or 5. And if this is 8, you cannot have a difference of 5, so it cannot be 3, 8. But it could be, what could it be? 6 and 8, right? So whatever this, we know this difference line has to be difference line of 2 because of all the possibilities we went through, right? So this is either 6, 4, 3, 5, or it's 6, 8. If this is 6, 8, it would have to be 6, and this would be 4 or 8, and that works also. So this is the 2 difference line. This is the 5 difference line. We have the 3 difference line, and we have a 1 difference line. So we have 1, 2, and 3 difference lines, right? Now we cannot have 1, 2, or 3 in the remaining difference lines. What can the rest of the lines be? It's either 4, 5. No, we don't have 5. It's 4, 6, 7, or 8, right? The rest of these cells are 1, 4, 5, 8. This is 1, 4, 5, 8. Oops, not 2. 1, 4, 5, 8. So again, this is the 1 difference line. This is the 2 difference line, and this is the 3 difference line. This is the 5 difference line. So this has to be either 4, in which case it could be 4, 8, or it's 1, 5 if it's 4. Or this could have a difference of 7 between 1 and 8. That is also possible. This is also 1, 4, 5, and 8. Uh, hmm. So, if this difference is 1 or 5, then this would have to be 1 or 5. If its difference is 4 or 8, the other one would have to be 4 or 8. If it's 1 and 8, obviously it'd be 1 and 8. So any of those works. Oh, interesting. Right. So if this is 1 and say this was 4 and 8. If this is 4 and 8, hmm. Yeah, we're not completely sure about that one. Hmm. Can this ever be 1? Yes, it could be with 5, in which case it's a difference of 4, and therefore this could be 9. Or this could be 1. Or it could be 1 and 9, in which case that would be 1, because that would be a difference of 8. We have 1, 2, 3, 5. What about 4? 4 cannot be here because it would have to be a difference of 1 with 5 or a difference of 5 with 9, and both of those different lines are taken. So this cannot be 4. If this is 5, it cannot be with 4 because that would be a difference of 1. But it could be with 9, which would force this to be 5 then, because you would have a difference of 4. And if this is 8, you cannot be with 9 because that would be a difference of 1. You cannot be with 5 because that would be a difference of 3. But you could be with a 4 with a difference of 4. So therefore, then this would be 8. So this has to have a difference of, well, it could be 8 or 4. This is 4 or 7. Huh, interesting. Okay. We know 1 is one of these cells. If this is 1... Oh, 5 can never be in one of these cells. That's actually one thing that's important. And this can't be 5 either. So, can this ever be 5? No, right? If this were 5, it would have to be with 1, and then this would have to be 5 for a difference of 4. 5 cannot be a difference of 1 with 4. 5 cannot be a difference of 3 with 8, so therefore this can't be 5. Therefore, we have a 1, 4, 8 triplet in box 2, which eliminates 4 and 4 and 8 from the rest of the box, which makes this a 5. And 5 again cannot be in a difference line of 1, so it must be a difference line of 2. So this is 3, which makes this 3, which makes this 1 or 5. Therefore, this can't be 3. This must be a 6. This can no longer be 5. And yes, we don't know anything else. 1, if this is 1, it would have to be with 9, so therefore this would be 1. If this is 5, it could be with 9, in which case that would be 5 to be 4. If this is 8, this could be 4, and then this would be 8. So we still don't have any information about that. Oh, 5 can never be in a equality cage, so this must be a 1, which means this can't be 1. So the 1 has to be the low in this equality cage, which means it cannot be... You cannot have a 4 with it, because those are both below. So therefore, you have a high digit with it. So this is 1 and 8, which means this can't be 8 because of the 1, 8 pair in the same column. Therefore, this is a 4. 4 cannot be in the 3 difference line with 1 because we already have 3 difference lines. Therefore, this must be 8, which makes this a 1, which makes this 4 to be 3 difference away from that. This now has to be a high digit, and it has to be odd. Well, 9 is no longer available, so this must be 7. This can no longer have a difference of 4. Well, the only other difference that's possible now here is a difference of 8. So this is 1, 9, and 1, which makes this an 8. Therefore, this can't be 8. So this is 1, which makes this 2, which makes this 3. And therefore, this is 6. This can't be 1 or 8. This can't be 1 or 8. This is 4 or 5. 4 or 5, we don't have... We've already got the digits from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How does that work? Maybe I broke something. Huh. That's not good. I broke something. Um, uh, okay. I do still like this one, actually, though. Well, you can't have a difference of 4. This is a difference of 2 or 1. And these do have to be the same parity, so it still can't be 4, 8. So this has to be 3, 6, which forces this to be 3, 6, which means we have a 1, 4, 5, 8 triplet. This can't be 5. If this were 5, it would be next to 1, which would have a difference of 4. Oh, yeah, why can't it be 5, 1 here? Oh, because this can't be 5 then. Yeah. So 5 cannot be with 1, 5 can't be with 4 because that's a difference of 1, 5 can't be with 8 because that's a difference of 4. So this cannot be 5. Therefore, this is a 5. We are not going to do anything here. We don't know actually what these are necessarily. We're just going to assume. This cannot be... One of these has to be odd. Therefore, the 1 has to be in a circle. And 1 cannot be with 4 because those are both low. So this must be 1, 8, which does make this 4 again. This cannot be 4 and 1 because that's a difference of 3, so it must be 4 and 8, which makes this a 1, which means this is a 4 again. This 4 is a low even number, which means we need a high odd number here, and it cannot be 9. The only high odd number now is 7. This cannot be 5, so it's 4 and 9. So this is 4 and 9, or it's 1 and 8, right? Therefore, the rest of these cells are 2, 5, 7, 9. And this can't be 2 or 7, so this is 5 or 9. The rest of these cells are 1, 4, 5, and 8. Okay, so technically this could be 1 or 8. We're not... Yeah. This is a difference of either 2 or 1. So this is 3 or 6. With 5, it cannot be, it's either 1 away or 2 away. If it's 2 away, this is 3, and then this would have to be 1 if that's the case. If it's 1 away, this could be 4 or 6, and this cannot be 5 though, so this can't be 4 technically. If we tried to have this 5 and 4, this would have to be specifically 3 because it can't be 5 in a equality cage. But the problem is 3 is already in that row. So if it's 6, it could go down to 5, but that's not possible, so this could be 7. So this is 1 or 7. What are the remaining cells here? It's 1, 2, 5, and 8. Right, so this is 2 and 8. This is 1, 2, or 5, and this is 1, 5, or 8. Um, 9 with a different... 9 could not go to 6. So 9 would have to go to 3 specifically, which would make this a difference of 3, which is not possible because we already have a difference line of 3. So this cannot be 9. If this is 8, this would be 7, and that's 6, and that works. If this is 4... Oh, maybe that was where I messed up. Could be 4, 5, and 6, and that still works, actually. Does it? Maybe not. 4, 6, this would be 3 and 7. That's the problem. This would have to be 7 or 9, which doesn't work. If this is 1, it would have to be... So 4 could not be anything. Yeah, this still is the same. This cannot be 5, right? So we have a low digit here. And we have a 6. Uh, can this ever be 2 is the question, right? 3, 1, 3 doesn't work because we have 2 3s. 3, 5, 7 doesn't work. 3, 5, 3 doesn't work. 6, 4, 2 doesn't work. 6, 4, 6 obviously doesn't work. 6, 8, 6 doesn't work. And then 6, 8, 10 obviously is not a digit. So yeah, this has to be 1, which means this has to be 2. 3, and this is 1. So we have 4, 3, 2, 1, and 5. So this has to be a difference of at least 6. Yeah, we just shown this can't be 9. But the problem is this difference, right? 4 and 5 has to be it has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from each other. So that just doesn't work. But then if it's 1 or 8, then that also doesn't work. Because that would break this, I think. One of these has to be 1, which means the other one has to be 8. This can't repeat. This cannot be 1, so this can never be 1, 9. It could be 2 and 9. Actually, yeah, let's go look at this. This is 4, cannot be 4, 5, and 8. It's 5, 7, 8. This is 5, 7, or 8. What's the difference here? So 5 can never be here. Because if this were 5, it's a difference of 1, 2, 3, or 4 from all the rest of the cells. So this can't be 5. Can't be 7. Well, it could be 7, I guess. No, because you can't have repeats, so this can't be 1. So therefore, this must be 8. Which must be 8 with a difference of 6, which makes that 2, which makes that 8. Therefore, this cannot be 8. We have 2 even numbers and 2 low numbers. Therefore, we have to have 2 high numbers now. And it has to be odd. So this is a 9, which means this can't be 9 and this can't be 9. This can't be 8 anymore. This can't be 8. So this is a 5, which makes that a 7. This can no longer be a 7. All right, this could be 2. This can't be 7. These can't be 5 anymore, so we have a 1, 2, 1, 2 pair, which forces this to be 8. We have a difference of 6 now here. Oh, I see it. We have to have a difference of 0. We have, how many different digits do we have? Yeah, so this is still correct. How many different digits do we have? How many different lines, sorry, say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I should have counted the number of different digits and different lines in the first place. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 difference lines. So one of them has to have a difference line value of 0. Well, what's the only possibility for that? Cannot be this one because then these would be the same digit. Can't be these because they would be the same digit. Can't be these because they would have the same digit in the same row or column or box. So it must be this one. Therefore, this is 5, this is 5, and that's 5, which makes that 9. This can't be 9. Again, this has to be 1, 8, 1, 8. This can no longer be 7 or 5, so this must be 2 with 3 and 1. Therefore, that's 8 and 6. This can't be 1, so this is 4. This can't be 1 or 4, so this is 8. This can't be 1, 4, 8, so this is 9, which must have a difference of at least 7. But it has to have specifically 1 here, because those are the only possibilities. Therefore, this is 4. This is 1. This cannot be 5 or 9. It's 2 or 7. This must have a difference of 7, right? So it's either 1, 2, 8, or 9, or 1, 2, 8, or 9. This can't be 2 or 8, so this is 1 or 9. This can't be 1 or 9, so this is 2 or 8, which makes this 1 or 9 also, right? If this is 1, that forces this to be 8 for a difference of 7, which forces it back to 1 here. Or this is 9, which makes that difference of 2, which means that has to be back to 9. Sorry. 9 to a difference of 7, which makes this a 2, which has a difference of 7, which would make that 9. So there's that. This cannot be low because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this has to be 6, 7, or 9 as a high. This then has to be a low, which means it's cannot be 2. It could be 1, 3, or 4. Can't be 1, so this is 3 or 4 then. This is 6, 7, or 9 to make the quality cage. Ugh. This cannot be 2, 3, 4, or 5. And it cannot be 8 or 9, so this is 1, 6, or 7. If this is 1, it would have to be with a 6 or an 8, because it needs a high even number to be with it. But it cannot be 8 because of this 8, so therefore this would be 6 with it. Otherwise, it could be 6 or 7, which would mean this would be 2, 3, or 4. No, yeah, any of those work, because it cannot be 1, though. So, what does that mean, then? Well, let's look at the remaining digits here. Where can 2 be in row 1? Can't be here, can't be here, so it must be here. This is 2, which means this becomes a 6, 9 pair, I believe, right? 6 and 9, 6 and 9. This has to be a 4 or 5 pair. Where is the 1 in row 4? Cannot be any of the filled in cells. It can't be here because of this 1. Therefore, it must be one of these 3 cells, which eliminates 1 from the rest of the box. Therefore, we know this is a 9. This has to be 2 to make this a difference of 7, which makes that a 9. This can't be 2 anymore. This can't be 2, so this is 1, which makes this a 2. This can't be 1. This cannot be 1. So this is 6 or 7, which must be with a low digit, so it's 3 or 4 here. And now it looks like, well, we still have the equality cages, so that's still possible to do some interesting stuff there. Where is the 8 in box 4? Cannot be any of these cells because of this 8. Can't be here, can't be here, it must be here. Where's the where is the 9 in box 9? Cannot be any of these cells, can't be any of these cells, can't be any of these cells because of the 9s that we see. Therefore, this must be a 9. So this is a high odd digit. It must be with a low even digit. So therefore, this is a 4. This can't be 4 anymore. This is a 5, which makes that a 4. This can't be 9 anymore, so this is a 6, which makes that a 9. Okay, what do we have left here? Okay, we have 1, 3, and 7 remaining, but this can't be 1, and this can't be 1. So therefore, where is the 1 in row 7? It has to be here. This can't be 7, and it can't be 1 anymore, so this must be a 3, which makes that a 7. And that we got from normal Sudoku. What else do we have remaining? This is 1, 3, or 7 also. This can't be 1 or 7, so this is 3. We have a 1, 7, that's 3 in the corner. We celebrate. We have a 1, 7 remaining in column 9. And this can't be 1, so this is 7, which makes that a 1. Where is the 8 in box 9? Cannot be here, cannot be here, cannot be either of these 2 cells, so therefore it must be here. And we have 8 8s now, which means we should be able to figure out where the last one is, where we figure out it's here. So that's an 8. These 2 digits must be 5 and 6, and this can't be 5, so this is 6, which makes that a 5. The last remaining digit here is a 3, so this is 3, which means this cannot be 3, so this is a 4. And because of the equality cage, this is a low even digit, which means we need a high odd digit to match it. So therefore, this is a 7. And now the rest is probably just Sudoku. So these can't be 1. This must be a 1. So I think that's all the 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, we have 9 1s. What about the 2s? The 2s are still varied, but could be 2 or 7 in row 8. But this can't be 7 because of that 7, so therefore this is a 2, which makes that 7, which makes that a 2. So now all the 2s should be filled. 3s. We have 8 3s, so the last 3 is here. Because 3 is eliminated from here and here by these 2 3s. 4s. Well, the last 4 in box 6 has to be here. Because they're eliminated by... These 2 cells are eliminated by these 4s. And in box 7, it has to be here. This is a 4. 5's remaining. This has to be 5. That's 5. Now we're just doing Sudoku. This is 6. This is 6. Last 6 is here. And therefore, this is a 7. And that is how you solve it. Yeah, I should have counted the same difference lines in the beginning. Because that would have let me know immediately that this had to be the 0. Pretty cool logic though. Especially with the equality cages and the difference lines being pretty restrictive. And I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.